Chào mừng quý vị và các bạn đến với chương trình Tôi và Việt Nam trên kênh truyền hình FBNC. Và trong chương trình ngày hôm nay chúng ta sẽ chào đón một vị khách mời đến từ Mỹ và ông sẽ chia sẻ với chúng ta một số quan điểm về giáo dục. Xin mời quý vị cùng gặp gỡ với ông Eric Hamilton, là hiệu trưởng của trường quốc tế Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, Phần Hiệu American Academy. Mr. Hamilton, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Very good.
So you were chosen as the campus principal for International School in Ho Chi Minh City, American Academy. How did this persuade you to say yes for this position?
To persuade me, it was not very hard. The philosophy of the school really fit with my philosophy as an educator, and I was very keen to come and be a part of making a transformational school.
I'm curious, before you say yes to take that role in here in Vietnam, have you done any research about Vietnam's educations and what caught your attention?
I think what interested me was that I saw that students were very focused on rote memory and learning the facts and the figures here in Vietnam. And I was too as a child, but then I blossomed when I had a teacher that went beyond that and made me be more collaborative and innovative and asked me questions. And so I wanted to bring that to the Vietnamese people myself, bring a different style of education that allows for questioning and asking of opinions. So I was very keen to help that bridge.
Yeah, we're going to need that a lot here. You have a very interesting background. You taught at Aerospace Academy.
Yes.
And so what was your teaching philosophy at that school, and how did you try to apply it here in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam?
Sure. Well, the academy was a public school that had a grant of about $5 million. We were able to spend a lot of money on technology, but we wanted to do something different besides just buying technology. So we had a partnership with NASA and the Space Foundation. We were able to create curriculum surrounding the science of space travel, whether it's biology in space or the physics of the rockets, actually even flight. So we have students who were learning how to fly who were in eighth grade. So it was very exciting because it was very real. It was an actual something that kids could sink their teeth into and have real projects, real things that they were working on instead of memorization and testing. So it was very, very hands-on.
Yeah, sure. As you know, the Asian parents and Asian culture, we tend to emphasize a lot on the academic performance, the grade, the memorization.
Right.
And it might create some issues later when they go to higher education or they graduate and go to the real world business environment with problem-solving skills and creativity. How do you apply the teaching philosophy that can go beyond the memorization or the grade and the academic performance?
Right. Well, I do think it's important. The Vietnamese don't have it all wrong. It's important to have memorization and understanding the facts so that you can build on that. What I like to do with the students is to create a situation where students can apply the skills that they're learning into a actual problem. So we have something called project-based learning, where students are given a problem. It could be a world problem, whether it's hunger or water rights or any of the myriad of problems that we have in the world, because really we need to produce students and adults who are global citizens to be able to solve these problems that we've created. So you have to give them practice to do that. So you give them experiences like Model United Nations, where they're learning how to solve these types of problems, and they're actually acting like they are representatives of different countries and have different viewpoints and perspectives and research what the background knowledge is so that they can come up with an innovative way to solve these problems.
But for the students here in Vietnam, for many, many years, they are so used to the old ways of learning, the passive way of learning. How do you boost the adaptation process for the new way of learning and asking questions and solving the real world problems?
Yeah. When they first come to us, they're very shy. They're very quiet and want to sit in their seat and not move. We have a learner profile at our school that includes collaboration, innovation, creativity, ethical behavior, and global mindedness. So we work those words and those concepts into the curriculum. For example, collaboration. And this will help students break out of their shell. We have them work into a small group of 3. There might be 5 or 6 different groups within the classroom, and they're working on a social studies problem or a math problem or a writing problem. And they will brainstorm in a group amongst themselves where it's still safe. It's not in public with everybody else watching, but they're in a small group and they can brainstorm and come up with different ideas. And then they present those ideas to the whole class. And every idea is given credence, and the teachers will acknowledge each one. And it allows them to come out of their shell and become a little bit more open and opinionated, which is what we're trying to encourage. We're trying to encourage the safety to express their opinions and alternative ideas, because that's really what allows us to become innovative and creative, is to allow for that space for kids to have that creativity.
Do they do that all in English? Because language might be a big barrier.
Yes, yes, and that's a challenge. When they first come, we have a very strong English immersion program, so all of our students have a newcomers class, so that we can really boost up their English, and then they're able to practice that within the small groups, and then when they gain confidence in their English reading, writing, speaking, and listening, then they start to come out of the shell even more.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing, and we'll come back after a short break. Thank you. Thưa quý vị, vừa rồi là những chia sẻ của ông Eric Hamilton, là hiệu trưởng của trường quốc tế Thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, phân hiệu American Academy. Quý vị có thể xem lại chương trình trên trang web của kênh FBNC tại địa chỉ fbnc.vn. Chúng tôi sẽ còn quay trở lại sau ít phút nữa.